From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, March the 31st, 2023. Israeli security forces were on high alert today on the second Friday prayers of the holy Muslim month of Ramadan, where over 100,000 worshippers came to pray at the Al-Aqsa Mosque on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem's Old City, including some 52,000 Palestinians who entered Israel from the West Bank. The IDF noting earlier today, thousands of people have been crossing through the Kalandia and Rachel crossings in a peaceful and secure manner to pray and celebrate with their families. The Central Command troops are working hard to maintain freedom of worship. The IDF also announced today that border crossings from the West Bank and Gaza into Israel will be closed during the upcoming Passover holiday, starting on Wednesday, April the 5th, though as always, transit, they wrote, will be allowed in humanitarian, medical, and exceptional cases. A follow-up now for you on a story we told you about earlier this week, that 2 men were arrested by Greek authorities for planning terror attacks in Greece against Jewish and Israeli targets. Times of Israel reporting that the 2 who are said to be from Iran appeared in court today on terrorism charges regarding reportedly plans to target the Chabad of Athens Center, which also has a kosher restaurant and grocery. Azerbaijan opened its embassy in Israel this week. The foreign ministry wrote, history in the making. For the first time since the establishment of relations in 1991, Azerbaijan opened its embassy on Wednesday in what Israeli Foreign Minister Eli Cohen called further evidence of the strengthening of relations between our countries. Azerbaijan, he wrote, is a Muslim country, and its strategic location makes the relationship between us of great importance and great potential, noting the common threat both countries face from Iran. Cohen said we must act together to prevent Iran from achieving nuclear capabilities. Cohen hosted Azerbaijani Foreign Minister Ceyhun Bayramov, who also met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who congratulated him on the opening of the embassy and on the appointment of his country's first ambassador to Israel. And last night, Cohen spoke over the phone with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. This phone call follows some tensions with the U.S., as we reported to you, including U.S. President Joe Biden expressing his concern over the judicial reform crisis in Israel and saying that he would not be inviting Prime Minister Netanyahu to the White House in the near term. And then both sides agreeing that the U.S.-Israel bond is unbreakable, even with the occasional disagreement. Cohen tweeted of the phone call last night with Blinken, we talked about the expansion of the Abraham Accords, the visa exemption for Israelis, and the judicial reform. And Cohen reaffirming our relationship with the United States is one of the pillars of our foreign policy. We will continuously work to strengthen the dialogue with this great ally. I am happy that there is an open channel of dialogue between the Secretary of State and myself. Israel launched a rocket carrying a military satellite into space this week. The Ofek 13 observation satellite blasted off from the Palmachim military air base late Tuesday night. NASA Spaceflight.com writing the 3-stage Shavit vehicle lit up the night sky as it climbed into space, successfully placing the Ofek 13 satellite into a retrograde orbit. The head of Israel's Defense Ministry Space and Satellite Administration, Avi Berger, said Ofek 13 is a SAR satellite with the most advanced capabilities of its kind, entirely developed in Israel. The launch, he said, was successful according to plan, and within the coming weeks we will complete technical tests and receive the first pictures before delivering the satellite for operational use by the IDF. Berger said Ofek 13, like other Ofek satellites over the years, will allow, among other things, day and nighttime imaging capabilities and will drastically improve Israel's intelligence capabilities from space for years to come. Well, Israel's President Isaac Herzog, who has been holding meetings this week with members of the coalition and opposition to try and reach a compromise on the contentious judicial reforms, took to social media today just ahead of the beginning of the Sabbath to share his thoughts and his hopes. Reiterating his efforts, he wrote, to reach as broad agreements as possible. Herzog wrote, "I know, unfortunately, there is hostility and mistrust. It is important that we take a deep breath, look at reality, and give the negotiation process a real chance." Herzog said, "Our country is dear to all of us. The fusion of Jewish and democratic is a wonderful combination, in my opinion, and we must guard it at all costs. We were given the opportunity to try to change direction. Let's give it a chance. Shabbat Shalom to all citizens of Israel who are so dear to me." Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Friday, March the 31st. Live Shabbat services are coming up at 6 o'clock from New York City's Central Synagogue, followed by Shabbat services from the Hampton Synagogue. Then it's a Shabbat acapella concert and the film Iranium about the nuclear threat from Iran. Then we hear from CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, on eradicating hate, and a replay from the Hampton Synagogue, followed by a replay from Central. And coming up next, it's a look at this week's Torah Portion. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, March the 31st, 2023. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well, and Shabbat Shalom.